their work. And then you sit here and call me a creator that makes political BS posts with absolute no facts. Then you mention this one. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that the Naval JAG Joint Command didn't threaten dishonorable discharge on sailors that refused to take the jab. Prove me wrong that Democrats, cities, and states aren't trying to currently decriminalize knowingly spreading HIV virus. California and Illinois have already done it. Prove me wrong.
Okay. Before we begin and anyone makes any assumptions, no, he does not have COVID. He's done multiple videos about the fact that he has Crohn's disease, and Crohn's disease is a truly horrific disease. And while there is no cure, I do wish him a quick recovery from the flare-up that he's going through right now. As for proving him wrong, that's a little tricky because there is a little bit of fact in what he's saying. But like most propaganda, all the context has been taken out. He uses a technique that I refer to as headlining. And it's pretty much the same thing that the news agencies use, in which you create a big sensational headline in hopes that people don't further look for the context. And it's very effective. So if we look at his headlining of the military threatening dishonorable discharge for refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine, that sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? But again, the context is taken out, such as the fact that this has been a standing procedure of the military for multiple vaccines, pretty much since its inception. For example, in 1777, George Washington ordered the mass inoculation of the Army against smallpox. Looking at more recent years, we have the anthrax shot. And as an Army veteran myself, I'm familiar with this because I was mandated to take the anthrax shot. And this was a mandate under threat of punishment up to dishonorable discharge. This one took place in 2003. And please remind me again what party had the commander-in-chief in 2003. So using that headline as a comparison to something he feels that Democrats is doing is already disingenuous. Mandatory vaccinations within the military is not a partisan issue. It's in fact bipartisan. But the current political climate and people using headlining has turned it into this false partisan issue. Good order and discipline have been a staple of the military for a long time, and that includes obeying lawful orders. And has previously been established by the military, force inoculations are lawful orders. As for his HIV headline, we have to look at some context there too. California did not decriminalize knowingly spreading HIV. It changed the punishment from a felony to a misdemeanor, putting it in line with all the other laws in the state about knowingly spreading an infectious disease. The previous law did not even require the actual transmission of the disease for a person to be found guilty of a felony. Now a person can be found guilty of a misdemeanor if they intentionally spread the disease. See how the context doesn't fully match his headlines? Context always matters.